If you can't kill a boss, no reason why you can't look like one. Moogle putting the wow in transmogs. We have Worgen, who's going to kick us off with the Shoulders Mantle of Somber Gaze. Blackrock Foundry operated Thogar 14% on the drop rate for the shoulders. Now we're going to move on to the chest piece, which is from the Burning Throne. Varamathras drops the Vest of Unfathomable Anguish. Sounds like really, really sad name, doesn't it? 10% on the drop rate. Now we're moving to something happy, like the Cake Carrier's Girdle. The Nighthold Heroic Trilliax is the boss, 5% on the drop rate. These names just never stop to amaze me, like the Caustic Titan Spike Laggards. Why not just call them pants or trousers? Or anyway, the Burning Throne, Agramar is the boss. Moving on to the feet, and now we have a Tauren dude, which you really can't see the feet on them, but they're Wild Gladiators Boots of Victory. If you hoard, you gotta go warmongering, 2 marks of honor to get the boots. Not a bad pickup there. The hands, Cannonball Loader's Grips. So if you have to load cannonballs, you know what kind of hand pieces you have to get. Blackrock Foundry Beast Lord Darmak, great drop rate at 22%. Got a Lady Troll, the Journeying Helm, which is crafted from WOD level leatherworking, or you can buy it on the auction house. The Bat Gilded Thorian Cloak, Karazhan BC version, Terrestrian Elhoof, 17% drop rate for one of my favorite cloaks. Next up, and last up, the weapon, Spur of the Great Devourer, which happens to drop from Hellfire Citadel. Now we're going back to the Green Forests look. The Oathclaw Mantle, Hellfire Citadel Mythic, Zul'Horak is the boss, 8% on the drop rate. Sounds like something out of Ghostbusters, actually. The boss name, that is. So is the chest here. Siege of Ogmar LFR version. Malkorak is the boss, 15% on the drop rate. Now we're going to move on to the belt, which is Damron's Belt of Darkness. Siege of Ogmar LFR. Earthbreaker Harem, 14% on the drop rate for the belt. So yeah, you see this mythic version on Hellfire and this LFR version of Siege of Ogmar. That's what we're working with here. And I think the inverse would work too. If you take the pieces that I have, well, you could figure that out anyway. So now we have a Kultiran, Orca Hide Boots, Serpent Shrine Caverns, Lotheris the Blind, 24% on the drop rate. He should be pretty easy to take out because he's blind. The hands, Fallen Rune Lord's Gloves. You can buy these off the auction house. They'll get cheaper and cheaper as we progress through BFA. Moving on, we're going to show you a Night Elf dude and the back, which is the Ivy Cloth Cloak. Stone Talon Mountains. Golden back is a rare, decent drop rate, or you can buy it on the auction house. The headpiece, Helm of Imagined Horrors, Hellfire Citadel Mythic, Shadow Lord Iskar, pretty good drop rate there. And the weapon, Wild Fury Greatstaff, Serpent Shrine Caverns, or you can buy it on the auction house. I always like that kind of blue-brown look for druids. Cruel Gladiators, Dragonhide Spalders, Legion PvP Vendor, gonna cost you a few marks of honor. Gotta buy the whole set eventually. Maybe you'll be able to buy a piece it here and there, but for now, the whole set. Trickster's Vest is spins you to vanilla, various bombs, and Razorfin Downs if you want to farm it, or just buy it on the auction house. Probably the best way to go. The belt, part of the same tier set as the shoulders, the boots, and the gloves. Cruel Gladiators Dragonhide Belt, Legion PvP Vendor, lots and lots of marks of honor to pick that up. Sticking with the Zondalari Troll, we're going to show you the legs, part of the same vanilla drop set. Trickster's Leggings, pick it up out of Dire Mall if you want to farm it, or just buy it on the auction house, probably the best way to go. But those things can be like super overpriced anyway, sometimes. Okay, we have a Lady Tauren showing the Cruel Gladiators Dragonhide Moccasins, Legion PvP Vendor, going to cost you some marks of honor. I think this is an alliance only though, but I show the horde so people get some ideas anyway. Yep, the hands, part of that same PvP tier set from Legion, more marks of honor, more alliance stuff. Anyway, we're going to move on, show you a Night Elf Druid with blue hair, of course. Wild Gladiators Drape of Prowess. We're looking at the Legion PvP. Actually, that's the WOD PvP vendor, not the Legion. Rifle Commander's Eye Patch, the Stockade. Grant Me Revenge, it's a quest reward. I think it's to kill Hager, not sure. And the weapon, Lightning Rod, Dragon Soul, LFR, decent drop rate. Here's a bit of a Terminator Druid look, or more like a Demon Hunter Druid look, but you never know. Sometimes, you know, if you're a Druid, you want to dress like a Demon Hunter and vice versa. The shoulder is probably the hardest piece to get. You're going to have to hit up Black Temple Time Walking, otherwise the rest pretty easy. Uldir Heroic, Tunic of the Sanguine Deity. Kahuna is the boss, 5% on the drop rate for the leather tier that all classes share. God, I just hate not having specific class-specific gear that you could pick up. Blizzard, man. Well, we got this great idea that'll save us some work. Yeah, I'm sure. Tomb Raider's Girdle, as you can see, that's from way back when in Heroic, some sort of Heroic version. Pathogenic Leg Wraps, Uldir Heroic, part of the same tier set as the chest and the boots. Moving on to a Night Elf, the feet, Uldir Heroic as well. Zekvaz is the boss. Kind of a decent drop rate to pick that up. Doing the spin, showing you the cloak, which is also from Uldir Heroic, in case you haven't already guessed. Fetid Devourer drops it at a 10% drop rate, so one of the better drop rates for those pieces from Uldir. And we are going to show you a Lady Night Elf and the headpiece, which is the Krakenhide Helm from Maw of Souls Heroic. Hell yeah, 5% on the drop rate for that piece. And stepping up with the next piece is the weapon, Netherlord's Staff of Summoning. You have to have a Warlock, you have to buy it in the Order Hall, then you'll be able to mock it. Going to start off with the shoulders, which you're going to have to get out of Ulduar. Remember Ulduar from Wrath of the Lich King, Cache of Storms, Valorous Nightsong Mantle. There's some nice Druid stuff in that raid. Kind of underrated on xmog gear, that raid, but it had some really good stuff. Tunic of Reformative Runes, Hellfire Citadel, Quormrock is the boss, 13% on the drop rate for that particular piece. Moving on, we have a Worgen showing the Bloodstorm Buckle Uldir. Talik is the boss, kind of a low drop rate, but sooner or later you'll probably pick it up. Moving on, we're going to hook you up with the legs, which are the leggings of Eternal Terror, Hellfire Citadel, Fell Lord Zakoon, 16% on the drop rate for those legs. Next up, we're going to show you the boots on a Lady Night Elf. These are from Loch Modan, which is Loch Modan Trog Kickers. It's a quest reward, very easy to pick up. Probably have it already. The hands, gloves of the Frozen Glade, Ulduar, Cache of Winter, kind of a low drop rate, part of the same tier set as the shoulders, and the back is the Ember Silk Cloak. Farm it in Moradon from various mobs, or you can buy it on the auction house. Now we're moving on to a High Mountain Tauren, Warmongering Gladiator's Helm. If you hoard, if you're Alliance, you gotta go wild. Next up, the Tabard of the Brew, Durotar or Dun Moreau. Token Redeemer will give it to you for 200 tokens. Gotta wait for Oktoberfest though, Brewfest. Last but not least, the weapon, Siege Vogar, Mythic, Galacrus. Final set, moving on to a red die here. Yes, the Warmongering Gladiator's Pauldrons. If you hoard, you gotta go wild. 3 marks of honor from the WAD PvP vendor for the shoulders. Now we're gonna move on to the chest, which is straight out of vanilla. Wolf Rider's Padded Armor, Zul Farak, various mobs there, or buy it on the auction house. The choice is yours. Either way, probably just buy it. That's the best way to go. Got a Worgen showing the belt cord of the Dream Grove, which is from Val Sarah, from, of course, your Druid Order Hall, 14% on the drop rate, which is incorrect. It's going to cost you gold. That's the way that works. Moving on, the legs, Imposing Pants, which means that you could also go with the Imposing Vest. It's a look-alike, or the Wolf Red Rider Pants. Either way, go what's cheapest on the auction house, just so you know. Bard's Boots, Northern Barons, Swiftmane is the boss with a rare, 20% on the drop rate, or buy it on the auction house. Choice is yours. Free country, free internet, free a lot of stuff. Warmongering Gladiator's Dragonhide gloves. If you hoard, gotta go wild. 2 marks of honor to get the gloves from the WAD PvP vendor. Next up, we're gonna show you a Tauren, or should I say, I don't know if it's a Tauren or a High Mountain. Not much. They're not that different, are they? So here's the deal with that cloak. You have to get it through plate wearer, but then you can mug it to your druid, and head part of the same tier set as a few other pieces in the set. And the weapon, also warmongering, combatants, energy staff, wild if you hoard. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. My name is Luxeley, and I'll leave you with these final thoughts. Wherever it is by you, whether it's morning, or it's afternoon, or it's night, make it epic.